Disclosure. All information we have on these cases are public record. We are not making fun of anyone or anything. This channel is for awareness of cases and entertainment purposes only.
Hey y'all, welcome back to our channel. Today we are going to be listening to Kaylor tell us a case, so take it away, Kaylor.
Thank you, Renee. So, if anybody hasn't seen our video that Renee did about the missing of Trini.
Yes, Trini Gibson, yeah.
So if you watch that video, I mentioned about a little boy that went missing up there. And you were like, oh, I've never heard of that one.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about that one today.
Okay, cool.
So this one is about a disappearance, also in the Great Smoky Mountains. There's no warning or anything like that. There's no anything, but anyways, let's get into this one. So we're going to be talking about the disappearance of Dennis Martin. Dennis Lloyd Martin, he was born June 20th, 1962. So this was a while back ago. He was an American little boy who disappeared on June 14th, 1969 in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park in Tennessee at the age of 6. It was 6 days before his 7th birthday when he disappeared.
Oh, he's little.
Yeah. So Dennis was up in the mountains with his father, grandfather, and his brother for Father Day weekend. This was a tradition for the Martins to do. They would go up there and they would camp. So they excuse me, I had a frog in my throat. So the family hiked from the Caves Cove to Russell Field, camped overnight, and then the next day they hiked to Spencer Field near the Appalachian Trail, where they planned to spend the night. Dennis disappeared on June 14th around 4:30 while planning to surprise the family. So apparently there was another family at the campground too, and kids being kids, they want to hang out with the other kids. So they were planning with the other kids that they were going to sneak up on the parents and surprise them, just kids being kids, joking around. So that's what they did. So they got in a group and they're like, okay, I'm going to go this way, I'm going to go this way, whatever. So Dennis went he went one area and went behind a bush. And that was the last time his father saw him. So Dennis was wearing a red t-shirt, short green trousers, and low Oxford shoes with a simple heel. I mean, this is the 60s.
Yeah.
So Mr. Martin, his dad, said that Dennis was a very quiet boy. But he would not call out, but he would answer to strangers because he was in a special ed educational program in his school because he was mentally behind a year and a half of his regular age.
Okay.
So he was developmentally behind. Bless his heart. And he's such a cute little boy too. After the father saw him go away, and then about 5 minutes later, he's like, okay, where did he go? Dennis, what? And so his father took off. He went to where he was at.
Right.
And he ran down a trail that was nearly 2 miles. So he took off running, looking for him, because the area was a slopey ravine. It was, you know how it is up there. Any mountain area, you're going to have ravines and you're going to have slope areas. Even if it is considered a camping ground.
Yeah.
You just got to be careful up there. After several hours, they really still couldn't find him, so they contacted the National Park Service Rangers to help look. The area where Dennis disappeared is marked, like I said, as a steep slope and ravines, and wild animals as in copperhead snakes, bears, feral hogs, and bobcats were inhabited in the area. So they start searching, but a downpour broke out shortly after they started searching, and it dropped apparently 3 inches of rain.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
For just, a little bit of time. I mean, for an evening of rain, that's quite a bit of rain.
For June?
Yeah.
Is that normal?
Yeah. I mean, Yes and no. It does that sometimes, and sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, it's true.
Like, I mean, you just can't ever tell. We always say go outside and look and see what it's doing, and then you'll know. Like, that's all you get. Like, you watch the weather, that might happen, that might not happen.
Yeah, that's true. So the rain caused the trails to be washed out and the streams around to become flooded. So it was just, I mean, there's really nothing you could do. I mean, it was dangerous on their end too to continue the search right then and there. So maybe they're hoping, you know, that if he did fall or he did like disappear, like wander off the trail, that, you know, he would find somewhere to lay low for a while. And also the night when he disappeared, the temperatures dropped to nearly 50 degrees. I mean, yeah, that can be cold up there, mostly when it's like raining and everything.
Yeah. The rain would have made it feel colder than 50 probably.
So the search, there was, people that included was the National Guard and the Green Berets, which I'm like, dang. And they still didn't find anything. Up to 1,400 people helped in the search of Dennis. I mean, that's a lot.
So there was no like signs of animals?
Because of the rain, it kind of washed all that away. So footprints were found in the area, but they were dismissed to not be Dennis's. They pretty much, the park ranger said that it could have been a Boy Scout that helped in the search because like all these people were helping. So they were like, oh, that's just like one of the Boy Scouts footprint. Because I think either it was like too large or something. Because I mean, he was a little 6-year-old boy.
But it could have been the person that took him.
Yeah.
If somebody took him.
I'll get to that.
Like what?
A child-sized footprint led to a stream, and then it just kind of just went away from there. And the track also, it was barefoot. Like it wasn't a shoe. It was like a barefoot foot.
Yeah.
Barefoot foot.
A barefoot foot. A bare footprint. Yeah.
And while the other, like there was footprints and then there was like, you know, the barefoot one. And then there was another one that was the shoe, like the Oxford shoe that he was wearing. So, or it was like a tennis shoe. So they found footprints.
You're stumbling.
I am. It's like, I just ate too. So I'm like, I'm on the point where it's like, I just need to lay down. Retired park ranger and author Dwight McCarter believed that the prints likely belonged to Dennis, as the tracks were not part of a group or none of the Boy Scouts were searching while barefoot. So this guy was like, I don't think it was Dennis's. Like, I don't know why.
I mean, if they saw a barefoot, a bare footprint, I'm doing the same thing you're doing. A bare footprint and then a footprint of the shoe, then it sounds like he like lost one of his shoes.
Yeah.
And he was like running with one bare foot and one shoe on.
Like if he fell down like a ravine or something, I mean,
he could
like
have lost a shoe.
You could have lost a shoe.
Yeah.
So I don't understand why this, I don't know, it's just like this one, like when you're reading about it and everything, it kind of seems like they're not really, not really caring, or they're just kind of like, oh, well, that's this, oh, well, that's that.
Yeah.
I have got a hiccup stuck.
I mean, I know it's, 1969, but like, I mean, at least look for evidence and try to keep up with what you're doing. Like, dang.
Yeah. Because later on in this, when I go down, that this one part, I mean, we'll get to that in a second. On June 22nd, 56 square feet of grounds has already been covered. I mean, that's a lot of grounds up there. More than 1,000 searchers continued to look until June 26th, when the search was cut back. So they kept searching, then they cut back, and then the search was officially abandoned on June 29th after one last search. So they did one last search, and then they just kind of were like, there's nothing else we can do.
Yeah.
So the search was officially closed on September 14th, 1969. As of 2025, it is still the largest search in history of the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. So, I mean, that's...
Yeah, so it was even bigger than Trini's then.
Yeah. So the aftermath of everything, Dennis's father offered a $5,000 reward, and with inflation and everything, I mean, it's probably, where this one it's showing of 2023, but I bet you it's probably even more now because
We've
of
had
everything.
a little bit of inflation.
Yeah,
In
so
the last couple of years.
for real. So it's rough. I would say probably around now it's around $50,000. That from then to now. So I mean that was a lot of big chunk of money back in the 60s.
Yeah,
almost 70s. His father had that reward for any information. A few years later, a ginseng hunter, like ginseng, like the root, the little thingy. You know what ginseng is?
Oh, yeah, like the herb or whatever. Yeah.
So there was a guy that, he was hunting and all that stuff, for it out there in the Smoky Mountains. And apparently it was, I guess you have to have a license to do that.
Okay.
Or anything like that. But he said that he discovered scattered skeleton remains of a small child in Big Hollow, Tremont. And he kept it to himself until 1985.
Oh gosh, he didn't tell anybody when he found them?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. So,
why would you do that?
I know. If you saw a skeleton of a child,
oh my gosh, no! I gotta go call the cops right now.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Because people are so selfish, and he was afraid of that he would be prosecuted for illegally ginseng.
Oh, he didn't get a license.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
So he was scared of that. When he finally told somebody, they did a search and they didn't find anything. I know.
I can't.
I'm telling you,
Like,
people are so selfish.
just lie and say you were hiking.
Yeah.
Like, at least call and tell what you saw. Like, what?
Yeah, hide that stuff. Hide your stuff you're hunting with.
I mean, it's just herbs. It's not like you're, growing pot out in the middle of the woods somewhere.
Or doing moonshine.
Yeah, like you ain't no moonshiner up in the mountains.
For real, are they going to give you a ticket?
Like, seriously.
I don't think they really,
I mean, back then they probably are, they probably wouldn't even have cared.
Yeah, honestly.
Okay, if you found something like that, they're going to be more focused on, that was dumb, dude. Whoever you are, that was dumb.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
So, a lot of people, it's kind of funny, but it's kind of not funny, but I think it's funny. I don't understand why. But a lot of people actually thought that Dennis was killed by Bigfoot.
Oh, yeah, the Bigfoot thing. I mean, hey, to each his own, whatever floats your boat. But I just don't believe in Bigfoot. That's not something that I believe in.
I don't know.
I don't do that. I'm not one of those types of people. I don't believe in Bigfoot. I don't believe in aliens. No.
Oh, so you're telling me out here up in this space that we're not fully looked at? You don't
know. There ain't no aliens.
Yes, there is.
I mean, I ain't saying, the man ain't watching everything we're doing. But but there's no aliens. Seriously.
I think there's a Bigfoot and aliens.
No. If there was a Bigfoot, somebody would have actually caught one, shot one, dude.
I love it.
No.
Yes.
If there's wild animals out there, who's seen a bear? Everybody. Who's seen a deer? Everybody. You would see one or catch one eventually after all these years. Mm-mm. Somebody's going to have a Bigfoot.
Yeah.
No.
Have you never watched the TV show, Hunting Bigfoot?
No.
I have. When I went out, I had shoulder surgery, and when I went out for my shoulder, I had nothing to do, so I sat and watched the whole thing of Bigfoot.
I can't.
And they've got some evidence, footprints and stuff. I mean, whose foot is this big?
Somebody that's pulling some bullshit. That's who. Somebody that's went out and made some sort of something as a foot and
you gotta watch it. It's
run
funny.
Through the woods to leave it for your dumb ass to go out there and think that there's a big
my dumb ass. I think there is. There's gotta be. There's not just us out there in the world. There's weird stuff out there.
I don't think so.
So there. So, like I said, a lot of people believe that, he was killed or taken by Bigfoot. But there's also 3 major theories of people have come up with. So these are 3 theories. Gosh, I can't say that.
I'm going to guess 2 of them.
You want to go ahead and guess?
Bear, kidnapping, and I don't know the next one.
Okay, because you only said 2. Can't have a third one.
No, I'll let you tell the third one.
So the first one is that he became lost and perished from exposure or some other reason, most likely after the first night. So, he did get away or whatever and try to, find his way back, and he just couldn't, and he, died. And that actually is the main theory that the state park rangers have they're kind of with that one, he just kind of...
I mean, I could see that, though. He's going to hide to surprise the other family coming in. And he's not even, he's just barely 7, like fixing to be 7. And he went in behind somewhere in a bush, got turned around, like went to think he was going the right direction and went the wrong direction and couldn't find his way out.
Yeah.
I mean, that really does make the most sense.
Mm-hmm. The second theory is that he was attacked by a hungry bear or like a hog or a feral pig that was out there and carried off. So, when they like drag away.
Yeah.
So they probably like that. The third theory, I just want to call it theory, but it's theory. So the third theory is that he was abducted or taken out of the park by something or someone. His father thought that that's what happened too. Well, on the afternoon that Dennis Martin has disappeared, a tourist, Harold Key, and his family heard an enormous, sickening scream, and shortly after witnessed an unkempt, shaggy, rough-looking man running down the trail, carrying a cloth or clothing over his shoulder. So Harold Key claimed his sight happened roughly an hour after the disappearance of Dennis, and was about a mere 5 miles away from where he disappeared. So the park rangers and the FBI, they kind of looked into it, but it kind of, where he said, or Mr. Key said that where all this happened, 5 miles, it really wasn't. It was like more like 7 to 9 miles away from where everything happened. So, I mean, they looked into it, but nothing came out of it. So, I mean, it's like, what? You hear a sickening scream, because like a child scream, like a scream like that is something you never forget.
No,
Because when my brother, so when I was 11, my brother accidentally kicked me in the face and broke my nose. I mean, bad.
Uh-oh.
And my mom said that she will never forget that scream that I let out.
Yeah.
So, I mean, as a child, to hear, to hear something like that, it's not something you can just, be like, oh, that was a bear, or, oh, that was this.
Yeah.
So,
you know the difference.
Yeah. And it's kind of like, they were kind of just half-ass looked into it.
So, this whole thing with this gruffy guy, carrying clothing over his shoulder, and the scream happened 9 miles away from where...
Yeah, the Mr. Key said that it happened about 5 miles away, but the state park and FBI's are like, no, it happened probably about 7 to 9 miles away.
Okay. So how do you get 7 to 9 miles and then somebody take him?
Yeah, that's what they were saying too. It's like, how can he get from there to you have to be like the Flash to run that fast, because I ain't running that fast.
Yeah.
To get away from that. And plus you're up there in the mountains too, and there's roots in the ground, and there's
rocks and hills and dips, and
so I mean, it's kind of one of those, but it's like
you ain't running.
Yeah. But it's also, it's like I said, that scream, like you hear that scream and something. So I don't know if they never really, because apparently there was a serial killer in that area, but it was I think it was let's see, like there was, like, I can't remember, but it was like, it wasn't in the same timeline of Dennis's disappearance. But then again, you know, there's always the first for serial killers. So, I mean, he could have been the first and then kind of just laid low and then picked back up around after the time of everything. But who knows?
Do we know how many miles away this guy found the bones from where they were staying? See, I'd like to know that.
Yeah.
Because if he, you know, like if it's only, you know, a 4 to 5 mile radius of where he found those bones, that could actually mean that he just wandered off and, you know.
I think that Dennis had wandered off. I mean, he's not saying like this is like whatever, but for somebody who's mentally behind, I mean, it's kind of like they're just, plus he's a kid.
He's a kid. He just got confused on where he was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's probably just like hiding and then going and like picking up pine cones or whatever. Yeah. So, nobody really knows where Dennis is to this day.
I mean, like, you know, he could have got distracted. Like, yeah, he's, like, if he's almost 7, but his brain is only, you know, 5, like, they don't hold their attention span that long.
No.
Like, if he's, okay, his older sibling or whatever says, okay, we're going to go hide and jump out and, you know, surprise his family. You go hide over here and we'll go hide over here. So he runs over and hides behind this bush and, you know, something happens behind him. Like he hears a frog or sees a frog or, I mean, just any little thing. I'm not saying that's what happened, but I'm just saying any little thing could have distracted him and he followed whatever that was that distracted him and he just got turned around and couldn't find his way back, you know.
Yeah, for like a kid, I mean, getting up there, even for like adults, you can get turned around up there.
Yeah, totally. I would never go anywhere alone if I was like camping in the mountains somewhere. You do not go alone. No. You have somebody with you all the time.
Yeah, you might run into Bigfoot.
Yeah. Bigfoot.
You just went, yeah.
Yeah. That was my reaction. Yeah.
You're running into Bigfoot out there.
But see, okay, here's my thing. Let's run into Bigfoot again. So you're going out, and I'm going to tell you right now, if we went camping, my husband's going to have a gun.
Yeah.
My husband don't go nowhere unless he's got a gun. So we're out there in the middle of nowhere. And of course, I'm not leaving him by no means. So we're walking around and here comes Bigfoot. Bigfoot getting shot.
Hey guys.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Somebody is going to like have done that at some point and brought that Bigfoot into the public eye. That's why there is no Bigfoot. I'm sorry. And I know I'll probably get, well, they have brains just like we do, and they know how to hide themselves, and whatever.
From our videos and everything, there's some people out there with no brains.
I mean, but they're going to say that Bigfoot has, you know, like human brain function.
That's true.
Yeah. And they know how to hide from us and stuff.
No, we're going to have to do a whole video on Bigfoot. We just try to convince you to believe in Bigfoot.
No.
Okay.
You'll never do it. Let me tell you, my dad said one time, and I'll never forget this statement. We were talking about aliens. And he said, no, there ain't no darn aliens. He said, if I ever, like, the only way that I would believe in aliens is if they landed in my front yard and said, hey, buddy, let's go for a ride in my spaceship. And I'm like, yeah, exactly. Like, no.
No,
I just don't.
I believe that there's something else out there. There's not just us out there in the world.
No, it's humans.
Whatever.
Yep.
Anywho, skiddly-doo. The Great Smoky Mountains National Park, here's just a little bit of information with this. The average about 103 searches and rescue annually. And a few of which these people are never found. By a few, I mean, there's only been 5 documented cases of people who went missing in the park and was never found again. So, I mean, so they find people a lot all the time.
Yeah.
And there's only like a few, like a handful of people that were just never found again. Trini, Dennis, and I don't know what the other 3 are.
We'll have to look it up.
Yeah. Since the park established because I didn't know this, that the park established in 1934. That's a long time. And that's from 1934. I don't know when these only 5 people were not found until I guess now. That's a long time, and that's a good, thing for people to be found because, like I said, a lot of people they do get turned around up there.
Yeah.
So
I mean, people go hiking and get lost and all kinds of stuff. But like you said, they're usually, the park rangers and stuff usually find them.
So as of June of this year of 2025, Dennis would be the age of 62. So Dennis has been missing now for 55 years.
Wow.
So with no nothing of him, no piece of clothing, no bones, no anything to tie to give, his father, his mother, his brother a closure of what happened to him.
That's awful.
Just, theories of what happened. There's 3 theories, and then most people say, Bigfoot, sorry to bring that back in, but, everybody's got theories of what happened. But I honestly, I don't know. It's just one of those, it's like,
I think he got distracted and followed something that he saw or heard and just got turned around and couldn't find his way back. And he probably just kept walking thinking, I'll get there at some point, and just got lost.
Yeah. Or a bear. But you would hear the bear.
No, I mean, a bear could have come along after.
That's true.
I mean, I hate to say that,
Had a little snacky snack.
Yeah, I mean, that's gross to think about,
But
horrible to think about. But, I mean, that could have happened. So maybe that's why they haven't found bones, because this is kind of gross. But, like, if, he had already passed away and a bear come along and, grabbed a leg or an arm or, they could be, his bones could be anywhere.
Yeah.
But that's what happened. But I kind of think that's probably what happened.
He just wandered off.
That's so sad. Because that makes you think, that's horrible. Because you think, bless his heart, he's just 6 years old out there all by himself, and just passed away out there by himself. Like, that's horrible.
I know. And just to think, like, all these people, I mean, he needs to also, like, I'm not saying he needs to know, but, like, people were looking for him.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just kind of like
he was left. Yeah.
Bless his heart.
That's sad.
But yeah, since you talked about that and I said that, I was like, oh, Renee needs to know about Dennis. Because I remember, I never heard about this until a coworker I used to work with, he told me about it. And I was like, oh. So that's how I kind of knew about it. But poor Dennis. And there was the, what's that website? Missing and Exploited Kids or whatever it is. You know what I'm about?
Mm-mm.
It's like a website where they post like for missing kids and everything. And they have like an artist who takes their photo of what they looked like when they were a child and like digitalized it to make them look like they're
older. Yeah.
They have still done that. I mean, there's still hope out there that, Dennis is still out there somewhere or whatever, and that they have a photo. I'll put it in this video, like here and everything, of what he would have looked like now at the age of 62. But man,
that's crazy.
That's whoa. But 55 years gone.
Yeah, that would be hard to deal with as a mom.
Mm.
You know, I mean, your child is gone is hard to deal with, but like just not knowing what exactly happened, like that would be even worse. I think that's horrible.
Just the unknown. The unknown is what's so scary about life.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, the unknown is what. Because I'm a planner.
Yes,
I make lists. Like I can't go to the grocery store without my list. Like I don't like to have the unknown's what scares me the most.
Same.
Of course, I think that's same for a lot of people.
Scary things out there in the world.
That was sad.
Sad.
Bless his heart.
I'm sorry.
Bless his heart.
It would be sad.
Well, I mean, we did have a couple funnies in here with Bigfoot and aliens, but you know,
Bigfoot's real.
we're just not like we're not serious people. Like as a family, as a whole, we joke around 24/7.
Don't watch a movie with us.
I mean, we are always laughing, you know, like making fun of each other or something, or so, you know. So I know that a lot of these cases that we do, you know, are serious things, and like, but we can't help it, because if you don't have humor in things, especially these kind of things, you would just be, you know, sad, upset, worried. Like you have to pull in some laughter somewhere.
Yeah, at least.
And I think that goes with life in general. Like you just have to have some laughter. You just do.
Yeah. If you don't laugh, something's wrong with you.
I mean, you gotta laugh, y'all.
I'm so with you.
I gotta bring the laughs in.
Yeah.
So
bring a little light to
when
it.
we do that, like it's not we're not disrespecting anyone or anything. It's just, you know, you gotta bring the humor into it.
Because we were just sitting here being like, today we're going to be talking about.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you gotta, you know, bring a little humor to life, like you said.
Yeah.
Like,
and I mean, everybody has their own opinions about stuff and that, you know, saying things or whatever. And that's fine too, you know. I mean, like we don't agree on Bigfoot, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to kick her out my house, you know. So
next video is going to be like, hey guys, I love you.
She doesn't love me because I believe in Bigfoot. Oh, Lord. Okay, we're getting way off topic.
But anyways, skiddly-doo, we will see you in our next video when it's our next turn.
Subscribe.
Yes.
Subscribe.
Hit that button. Turn
Help
the
us.
bells on. Like,
Please and thank you.
Come on. Come on. I'm going a little crazy now.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for hanging out with us. I'm shutting her down. Thanks for hanging out with us. And we'll see you on our next video. Bye.